All right, we're live. Hello, and welcome to another edition of AttractWell Office Hours. I'm Coach Ashley, and today we are going to be talking about list maintenance and email marketing. Excuse me, and that is for coaches, consultants, creators, practitioners, just about any kind of business who is growing a list of leads and nurturing that list of leads online. We are going to be talking about getting that done on today's call. We also have a live work review as well. So we're going to be getting rolling up our sleeves, getting our hands dirty, and doing some work on live websites today. So excited to have you here as you're coming on. Let us know what type of business you have. Do you have a list? Are you building one right now? What does that look like for you? Excited to hear from you and about your business here today. So just before we get started, a little bit of housekeeping. I'm not going to get into slides today. I really actually do want to show and tell features in the system and give some really customized advice if you guys have questions. Don't want to be too cookie cutter here because some of the nuances here do shift quite a bit based on your business and how you run it and the type of business that you have. But back to the housekeeping. We do host these live sessions every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern. You do not have to be an AttractWell member to take advantage of these. We have a lot of great training on creating resources in your business to build leverage and to create greater conversion, and ultimately just to get more out of the business that you're building and get better results for your clients, no matter what it is that you do. You can get started with us at AttractWell for $1 for your first month. We are a complete suite of software for you to run your entire business, from getting found all the way through to converting leads and upselling and fulfillment and courses and coaching and all of that kind of great stuff. So certainly looking forward to having you as a part of this community and learning more about what it is that you do. If you came here today with specific questions, though, I want to encourage you to go ahead and put those into the Q&A so that we don't miss anything as we're going through our call here today. It is just me, and I do want to make sure that I don't miss anything. So if you've got questions, really do appreciate you putting those into the Q&A for that purpose. So I have some notes from myself here that I want to pull up. So what we're talking about here today is email marketing and list maintenance. And we're going to break that up into those two different categories because obviously they are slightly different things. One is the actual activity of putting marketing messages out to your list for different purposes. And of course, the other is maintaining your list so that it is organized, so that you're sending the right people, the right messages at the right time, and so that you can perform cleanup on your list because you want your list to really be as active as possible. You are far better off with a small list of active subscribers than you are with a massive list of people who never opened their emails from you. That kind of thing really does negatively impact your deliverability of emails long term. So it is very important that you really sort of cull that list over time to make sure that you really are just sort of preserving that resource, which for you in AttractWell is marketing credits, right? So we have like for each plan level, we have a volume of contacts, and then you have a certain volume of what we call marketing credits that you can use to send out things like email and text. And so every time you send something out, that does cost you credits in your account. And so the other piece here is, you want to be able to preserve your business resources and make sure that you really are sending the right stuff to the right people so that you are getting the most out of what you're investing in. All right, so there's first we'll talk about marketing to your list and sort of the basics of email marketing for your list. And what that entails in your AttractWell account is basically two means of performing outreach. And those are broadcasts and campaigns, two very specific things. Now, obviously, in every email marketing system, things are going to be a little bit different. The terminology might be different. These are keywords for our system. So a broadcast is simply an email or a text that you send out one time, either right away, right now, or you schedule it for in the future, and you can send that out to one or many contacts. And I'm actually going to pop over to a screen here and share and show you what that looks like to send a broadcast. And actually, real quick, before I do that, let's talk about some use cases for broadcast emails, because they are a little different from campaigns. So broadcast emails are things that you're going to want to use more often than not for things like announcements, right? So if you have maybe a newsletter where you're giving a roundup of things that have taken place this week. Maybe you want to announce that you've released a new blog post, a new podcast, or that there's a conversation happening on your social that you'd like to invite people to participate in. This is what a broadcast is for. A campaign is a series of drips, right? So these are emails or texts that go out at a set sequence that you've decided that are more likely to be used for something like a funnel, where maybe you've got a new lead that you're sort of getting acquainted with, or you're getting them acquainted with you, nurturing them toward the next step in your funnel. Or if you have something that you're selling and perhaps somebody has qualified themselves at some point in the process, maybe they've become a lead by opting in, but by a certain point in the process, you want to actually start having your emails pitch a product or something like that. A campaign is what you're going to use for that. And then other things as well that you can use campaigns for that I want to show you here in just a second are like time sensitive. So like campaigns for launches. If you are running a live launch, for instance, of a program or a course, we do have the ability to make time dependent, might not be the right word, Greg's not here today, time dependent campaigns that will start to release and send, not just based on a set number of days between messages, but based on a set date that you want them to start sending. So for instance, you have a course that is launching next, 2 Mondays from now, then you want a marketing campaign to start sending out, tomorrow and start dripping out those things while the cart opens and then the cart closes, and that's kind of what we're talking about here. So you can set it up that way. Now, before I go too far into the weeds here, let me get over and actually show you where these two things are and how you can use them. And there are a couple of adjacent features that I want to show you as well while we're here. All right, so this is the dashboard in your AttractWell account. And if you don't see this guy in your account, that's because the Jane account is set up with network marketing features. If you are a network marketer, definitely look up in here the features for network marketers and turn those on in your system. But if not, don't worry about it. Okay, so this is your dashboard. And what we're going to do here to send a broadcast is just to go to your contacts. And then you could select one, or you could select several. You also have the option of going to filters and filtering for a tag in your system for someone who is maybe a client of a particular product. Maybe you have a lower level product and you want to specifically invite those purchasers to learn about a new thing that you're doing where they could buy something else, right? That kind of thing. Or maybe they're a lead and you want to actually grab all of your leads of a particular kind from a certain lead magnet, that kind of thing. So you can tag here, or again, you could pick one, you could pick multiple, you can even go onto an individual contact here and you can click this little mail button, right? So if we wanted to do this in bulk, this is one-on-one. This isn't really email marketing. This is contact management, right? If we're emailing from here. So that's not really the subject of today's call. But if we wanted to say, send a marketing email to a set group of people, like I said, you could actually go in and manually select. The better thing generally to do is to filter for the type of contact, the type of lead in your system, filter for them. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go to actions here. And then for those selected contacts, don't go down here, it's all of your contacts. Selected contacts, we're going to go to mail. And then we're going to write whatever we want to write here as our broadcast message, right? So as our marketing broadcast message. Now, if you want to save yourself time, or maybe you even want to plan ahead, there is a cool thing called saved replies here, where if you've already written it previously or a version of it that you're going to maybe use again in the future, you can pop it in right here using saved replies. And all of the information in that email that you wrote previously will automatically populate, and then you can either schedule or immediately send off that broadcast. Now, let me show you real quick where that saved reply feature is so that you can create this kind of stuff ahead of time. This is also a wonderful place if you want to have design, like pretty design in your emails, and you want to have that repeated throughout all of the emails that you send. Create yourself a saved reply that has the design that you want, and you can actually build it from other saved replies, like maybe this one, for instance. use this one as a starting point, replace the images, have, the text here that you want. And then when you are going to use this, you can go and plug it into a broadcast email or even into a campaign message and make the modifications that you want and preserve the style that you want. So that's just a quick aside. So those are broadcasts. You can send one-to-one or one-to-many. And again, those are most ideally going to be sent out for really not evergreen, but live real-time information. So this week's blog post, this week's YouTube video, this week's podcast, this week's event, these upcoming things, this is what we're talking about this week, that kind of thing, active engagement. And that's really something for maintenance that you want to be doing. So people might get started when they get introduced to you, whether you're using ads or you are creating content and offering lead magnets. There's probably going to be some kind of initial nurture sequence that you're putting into place. Now, if you're in the Client Funnel Challenge, that's AttractWell.com/CFC, you will actually get an example of what that initial nurturing sequence would look like, specifically keeping in mind with wanting to get a new lead onto a call with you, right? Onto a discovery call. If you are someone who does offer one-on-one calls and close onto high ticket programs or network marketing, it works well for that as well. So, so once somebody has been through that process of receiving those drip campaigns, it's important that you are in regular contact with your list. And that, I know I'm talking about like how you email, and then I'm going to talk a little bit more about list maintenance next. But the very most important way for you to actually maintain your list is to keep in touch with them, right? Is to actually send something out on a weekly basis. So at the very least, they're used to seeing your name in their inbox. In the most ideal case, they're actually opening those emails, reading what's in them and taking action on them. But even if they're just on your list and they are seeing your name in your inbox, that does something to create familiarity, expectation, and trust over time because they see your consistency. So do keep that in mind. If you want to build a strong list that is active, that is going to provide for your business the way that a list truly can, you do want to make sure that you're in regular contact, and broadcast emails are the way to do that. And again, you can do that by going to your dashboard and filtering for the right contacts, and then going to your bulk actions, which are going to be, let me go back over my contacts real quick here. If I could click the right thing. We filter for our contacts. We go to the actions for the selected contacts, and then we send out a mail right now, or we schedule it. If you want to see what it looks like, we do have a send preview link, and you could also save a draft if you're not ready to send. Okay, so that's that. Now the next piece is campaigns. These are going to be a really strategic tool for you to use if you're trying to drive a particular action. Broadcasts are best for nurture, but campaigns are great for initiating the nurture sequence. So a campaign is something that you could apply to a contact. One of the use cases might be maybe for onboarding. If somebody decides that they're going to get started and working with you and you want to set expectations, you can have a series of a couple of emails that send out over a set period of time that accomplish those purposes. But more often than not, the best way you're going to see campaigns used are in funnels. And basically what that funnel is you have some piece of your ultimate solution that you offer, a thing that you uniquely provide to your people. That's kind of the carrot that you're dangling out into the world. Like, hey, would you like this? You should come get this. And when they do, you get their name and email, and you have this opportunity, because you have their email address now, to drip out a series of emails that introduce you, that talk about the problem that they showed up with, which is the reason why they opted in to get the thing you gave away. And then that start to contextualize what their best next step might be, which could be getting on a one-on-one call with you. Perhaps you are promoting a webinar style workshop or something like this that people can engage with, and again, build a little bit more trust and move closer to that point of purchase. So more often than not, you're going to use a campaign for that purpose. But again, once people are done receiving that campaign, it is critical that you are weekly, at least, sending out content, sending out emails, and touching on that list and reminding them who you are, who you serve, what you can do for them with things that are valuable and relevant to them. So let's talk about campaigns real quick and how you can make them, and of course, how you can send them. So if we go to create campaigns, you'll see that we actually have several different options for the way that you send it. You can do email only, you can do text only, you can do contacts preference, or you can actually say, I prefer this, but if they are signed, so let's just say, for instance, you say email preferred. If their phone number is in the system, but for some reason, maybe either they opted out of email or maybe they entered their email address incorrectly, they will receive the message still, even if one method failed to send. So that's what the preferred are. All right, so you're going to give your campaign a name. This is your name for it internally. So this will be the lead magnet offer. You obviously want to make sure this is named after the thing that you're giving away, because you could have several lead magnets, right? But the campaign name shown to the contact is going to need to be the actual name of the thing. So you'll actually see, let me show you an example here. This 3 Ways Being Crunchy Can Change Your Life is a campaign that I created as an example for a course we did a while back. Let's look at the campaign details for that here. This actually should say the same thing as this. So 3 Ways Being Crunchy Can Change Your Life. This is what, if somebody decides to manage their communication preferences from you, this is what they're going to see, right? I want to still be on this campaign, or I actually want to opt out of this campaign. So that way you don't lose your contact completely when they maybe just don't want to receive that particular campaign's emails. They can actually see that this is what they're getting, and they can choose to keep it or opt out of it. Okay, so this is set up to send daily. Majority of the time, this is going to be what you want to set up. If you are creating text campaigns, then having something that sends minute by minute is something that you could do. We're not going to get into that on this call. It is not a setting you're probably going to use very often. A lot of this other stuff is just for text. And again, we're not doing that today. We're talking about email. Automations are something you can add to campaigns. Not going to talk about that today, but it is a thing you can do. So I'm going to go to Save Changes here. And then you'll see a blank screen here where you can start creating messages. But here, let's see what that looks like. You create a message. You can actually use your saved replies for this. Like I mentioned before, if you wanted the formatting to be preserved, you want it to be pretty, that kind of thing. You can use one of those and put it in here and then modify it. And then of course you can compose the email however it is that you want to write it. Real quick as well, you can choose whether or not somebody receives something on what date. These are based on the date of opt-in. All right, so they're going to get this right away, immediately, as soon as possible, where it says day 0. But this would be the next day. This would be an additional 4 days after that. And so that's how you can space this out. This is the general way you have these messages set up. Now, if you turn on advanced settings here, you can actually go in and choose how soon they get it. It could be 5 minutes after, right? If you wanted to do something like that, you can trigger automations here as well. And then from there, we can actually choose specific times of day. So it's always going to be right away if you see day 0, but you can set those nurture campaigns up so that they deliver, let's just say, for instance, at 9 a.m. every day, because maybe you're sending a daily affirmation or something like that, or you want to send, like inside of a specific time zone, at midday or end of day, morning, whatever it is that you really feel works best for you and for your business. One thing real quick though, if you do choose a specific time, there is a default time for messages, and that is 5 p.m. Central US time. So if you are elsewhere in the world, it would behoove you to do a little bit of math here, because if you don't specify the time, it is going to potentially send to your contacts in the middle of the night for you. So to keep that in mind there. Otherwise, if you're in the Western Hemisphere, specifically in the US, Canada, and South America, Central America, you can use what is it, like Pacific through Eastern time zones, and 5 Central is going to, I think, be pretty agreeable for most. But make those modifications if you aren't in those markets. So that's basically it. You have the option to choose whether individual messages are sent via email or text, which is kind of cool as well. But again, for general list maintenance, that's not really something you want to fool around with too much. You want to kind of keep it straightforward. So those are campaigns. Now, how you apply campaigns to people it's going to be fairly similar in one aspect and very different in one other. If we go back to our contacts here, you'll see that one of the bulk actions you can perform under bulk contact actions here is to apply a campaign. So this is something that maybe you want to apply a campaign to people who are within a certain segment of your list, to invite them to receive more messages about XYZ thing promotion you have coming up. You could apply a campaign this way, but more often than not, you're going to have this campaign attached to a page where someone's opting in and agreeing to receive the messages that follow. Okay. But if you wanted to add maybe for onboarding, for instance, you can just go into your campaign, find your campaign here, and then apply it to those contacts that you've selected, either manually or via a filter. And I'll show you real quick as well. There's two places where you can get these tags applied from a page. And that's going to be from a custom page, or a landing page rather, like this, where somebody can actually put their name and email in and then get the guide, and they'll get the stuff that follows. And so if we actually click to edit this landing page, you can go into the page settings, and then you could go in and apply this campaign. I'm going to remove that though. You can also at that point tag them, which I want to get into here in just a second. But real quick, this is where you add the campaign that you want to apply based on whatever lead magnet they are opting into. And then on pages, which could look like anything, not just the form and image on a page. Let me see if I have a lead magnet in here that I could show you guys. Actually, the home page is a perfect example for this, because the home page does offer a freebie. So if I go to our homepage template here, we're offering a challenge, and the challenge, you'll see the link goes to lead. And so in the page settings under leads, you can actually see what's being offered, and you can manage what campaign they receive that follows, right? So you would apply the campaign here, and then anyone who opts in on this page with this button is going to be tagged how you wanted to tag them. And then of course, they'll start receiving those emails. They're now on your list. All right, so we've now covered how you actually do your marketing, right? That is either broadcasts or campaigns. Now let's talk about how we maintain the list. We've already covered how we need to be maintaining our list by just simply being active on the list, showing up with content. It doesn't matter what content it is. I do definitely advocate for creating what I'd like to call legacy content on an ongoing basis, so that people really do have a great way to find you and dig in and understand the value that you bring to the world, so that they want to get on your list and hear more from you. That legacy content looks like blog posts, which you can do on AttractWell, YouTube videos, which you should connect to your blog on AttractWell, and podcasts, which you should, again, also connect to your blog on AttractWell. But if you're not ready to create that kind of content yet, you can still be emailing your list weekly by just simply talking about the conversations that you're having on social, to invite them to go and engage with you on a post that you've just made, or one that you're planning to make later in the week, or a live that you're going to do, or something like that. Look for reasons to provide value and to show up for your list weekly, and use that broadcast feature in AttractWell so that you can keep your people engaged. Because if you aren't keeping them engaged, they're going to forget that they opted in. And when you send that next message out of the blue 3 months from now, they're not going to receive it the same way that you think they will, because people have very short attention spans and will very quickly forget, even if they did and were happy to opt in to get what you have to say once upon a time. All right, so and let's talk about a couple of other ways to maintain our list. A really critical piece of list maintenance is segmentation. That's how you know who comes from where. It's how you know what kind of lead this person is, or if they're a lead or a customer, if they're a lead for a particular type of product. All of these things are things that you can accomplish with a feature in AttractWell called tags. And tags are something that can be applied by you manually on your contacts. It is also something that you can apply on on uploads when you upload your contacts. If you're using another system previously, you can of course import those tags over. If you're a network marketer, you can import your genealogy file and tag those people as your customers or team. And then of course, you can go into your contacts manually. So let's go check this out. If Rupert is someone that perhaps we met one-on-one, yep, we met one-on-one in 2019 at a conference. Rupert is somebody who could be a great fit for coaching. Maybe I've got some more notes on him, but I want to make sure that Rupert is tagged correctly. So if I go into edit Rupert's contact here, you can see that we have this field here for tags. So he is tagged for the accelerator. So he is maybe he's a part of a product, but he is a lead. Right. So he's a lead of my system. So maybe, if I have more people tagged lead, then when it's time for me to send out a broadcast, then I can send that out to people who are tagged lead. Right. So do make sure that you have some continuity in your tagging strategies so that you're able to actually filter for those right people for the messages that you want to send when you are conducting your marketing. So this is where the tagging happens if you do this manually per person. But again, just like we did before in bulk actions, we can apply tags to a group of people as well in bulk, which is pretty cool. And then finally, same as with campaigns, you can use your landing pages or your pages to automatically apply tags to your contacts. So going back to this landing page here, if we look at our settings, we could add tags like lead, of course. We could add a tag here. This is someone who, wants to know about how they could live a, healthier, crunchier lifestyle without being so confused about label ingredients. So I'm going to say healthy living, right? So there's somebody who's interested in healthy living. And so now everybody who opts in, who goes to this page, once it's published and they put their name, email, and phone in, they are tagged in my system with lead and healthy living. Now, what that means for me, as this is, shared out in the world and I'm getting more leads, is that when I make my broadcasts, I can actually even have special broadcasts. If I have, maybe I have an offer coming up and your list is such that not everybody is necessarily right for every offer, you could go to your contacts, hit filters, and then search for the people who are that, healthy, whatever, right? Filter for them. And then you're able to, let me reset my filters here. Let me try that one, or deselect. That's what I'm supposed to do. Deselect all context. Voila. Okay. Let me filter for that healthy thing again. Okay. All right. So now the people who opted in for that thing, or maybe let's also filter and let's put in lead. If we want everybody who is a lead, we'll type that in, find the people who are a lead. And then of course we can either mail or we can apply a campaign to them, whatever it is that we want to do from there. Now, going back to, let me check my notes here real quick. Going back to our filter feature, a couple of things that I do want to show you here when you are using your filters is if you go down, so obviously we can include tags or exclude tags if you want to be strategic in your segmentation about who you're emailing, about what on your list. But we have this really cool thing down here under filters, where we can actually filter for people who have been active or inactive on your list, right? So let's just say, for instance, you're actually wanting to see, maybe you're emailing your list every week and you want to send an email out to people who maybe have been inactive, haven't opened an email or clicked a link in an email for 6 months. And you want to send them a message that's like, hey, do you still want to hear from me? That's a thing that you ought to try to do. So, this number of days, what was that, 180 days, more than that. Anyway, I'm not mathing right now, but you put that number of days in here, you'll pull up those people, and then you can send off using a broadcast email here, send off an email that says, hey, would you like to stay in touch, right? And then what I would do is I would include an automation in this email. And then for those who don't click, I would actually remove them from my main list that I'm emailing, right? So they would still potentially be in your contacts, but they would no longer have the lead tag. They would need to opt in on your site again to get that lead tag again. So if you have questions about what I'm talking about here, please do ask them. I'm going to get into automations here real quick to show you another way that we can be applying and maintaining and using these different functions and features in AttractWell. And then, yeah, I'm going to answer any of the questions that you have and then get into our live work review. So automations are over here under your contact settings. You could always go up here to the search bar and type in automations right here, and you can open it up. Creating an automation is pretty simple. And I'll give you one example. And this is actually the one that I was just mentioning. If I wanted to send out, and I would make a saved reply of this. I wouldn't just write an email and like try to create an automation. I'd create an automation, then a save reply. And the automation would, it would add the tag active email list, right? Or something like that. And then of course, it would send them to, you would tag them here. So add a tag. So I'm going to say active email list. I'm going to add action there. And maybe if you're going to use this as a tag, then you're going to want to make sure that you have the same tag on your landing pages so that everybody that you are going to be emailing every week is going to have the same tag, right? And then we're going to add another action here where perhaps we'll send them a quick campaign. Maybe you write a campaign message. It's just a single email that's like, hey, I'm so glad you decided to stick around. Here are some of the free things I've got. Head over here to check out the blog. I'm over here on Facebook, or hit reply, right? Just a quick little email. You can attach a campaign here as well that would just trigger off and send directly from there. And then I would reroute them to a confirmation page. Just to, because when you click a link in an email, it does take you somewhere, right? We want it to actually go somewhere that makes sense for them. So send them to a confirmation page. We're going to call this keep me on the list and create that automation. And then when you write that saved reply that you're going to send to those people who have been inactive for 6 months, then when you say click here, this is the link that you're going to put in there. So let me actually show you what that would look like. So I'm going to go to saved replies, create. Still want to hear from me. And this will be 6 month inactive email, right? So we're going to say, hey, contact first name. Doing okay. I noticed you haven't been active for a while, and I want to make sure I'm only sending you stuff you want to read. Want to keep getting my emails? Click here. There we go. Voila. Insert. And actually, I would use something a little bit more, touchy here. I would say, is this goodbye? Definitely seen that used before. So want to keep reading my emails? Click here. Hope you're well, and then, have your name and, type correctly. There we go. All right. So I would create this saved reply, and then I would go and I would filter. I'd go to my contacts here. I would filter for contacts that have been inactive for the last 180 days. Filter. Okay, and then I'm going to go to actions. I'm going to go to mail. I'm going to go to saved replies, and there's that 6 month inactive email. And it's all there. It's all ready to go. Now, this is a manual thing you're going to want to do every now and then, right? Just to make sure that your list is clean. And since people are going to be clicking this to indicate that they're active, and that's the actual tag that you're using on an ongoing basis to reach out, then of course, what you'll want to do is after you've sent an email like this, a few days later, what you want to do is you want to go and filter again for those for the inactives in the last 180 days, going back here, typing in 180, that number is going to change, right? So if this one right now is 125, if people actually opened that email and clicked, then they're going to have that tag, right? So that number is not going to be the same. You'll actually go back, and for everyone who did not open that email, you can actually go to your bulk contact actions and then remove, oops, wrong one, remove your active email list tag. from here. And so now you're only emailing people who are actively engaging with the content that you're sending. Okay, so that was a lot. I showed you guys a lot today. So do feel free to ask any questions if you have them. Yeah, Christy, we'll get into, let me see, trying to start a podcast. Would love to hear about how to set up the blog feature. So the blog feature is actually already set up and ready to go. Let me just show you that really quick. There are a couple of things you can do to customize. It's right down here under Zoom, events and blog. So if you click on blog posts, then you can go to blog settings. And this is where you can give your archive a header. And that's, the archive is going to be your attractwellwebsite.com/blog. And that'll be what shows up there. You can automatically show posts from another blog here if you want to. Maybe you have a blog from somewhere else that you have, good SEO with, and you don't want to necessarily, break a thing that doesn't need fixing. You could certainly do that here. But under advanced options, you can set up, if you're using one of the AttractWell built-in themes, you can show, a maximum number of archived posts. You can choose whether or not you automatically approve your contents. Just basically set this up the way that you want to. You also, if you have events that you list on your page, you can show a max number that appear on your events here as well. Then getting into your blog itself, all you have to do is start writing your posts. That's literally it. You can go in and give your blog post a title. This is already going to apply the same kind of SEO features with keywords that it would if you were using WordPress. But then just make sure when you're writing your blog post that you are formatting it appropriately so that you are using this paragraph feature, so that this H1 tag gets applied where it needs to, because SEO, the SEO bots and the humans that control them are definitely looking for keywords inside of heading titles. So yeah, just make sure that you set it up that way. And then, yeah, let me actually go over and show you what it can look like on a published site. And she actually has it in her menu here. So this is an image that she set up in the blog settings. She's called it the Happy Holistic Blog. And then of course, she's got different posts here that are set up differently, right? And you can choose to have your story and your photo shared on your blog as well, which is a setup piece that's going to be over here under my story and photo. And you can choose whether or not that shows up on your blog post or on your blog archive. Hope that helps. All right, let me see if I'm missing anything here before we get into chatting with Mary about her site. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Ashley, Coach Ashley. I'm here with Shelly too.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
All right, so let me pull up your site here. So you guys were, what do you have it named as? I'm looking for it right now.
Zoyaveda, Zoyaveda.
There we go. Okay, got it. All right. And so are you working on a homepage right now, or where are you at currently?
Well, I'm in the challenge. I got to stage, and I just figured it out this morning. I got to step number 9, and then I figured out the bundle, I think. But we created, before I did the challenge, we created a landing page as our offer for a free guide to bring people into the funnel. But now I'm seeing that the lead magnet page could be that page. So now I'm a little bit lost. Great tool, but I'm just a little bit lost with all of them.
Okay. So can you give me sort of a 10,000 foot view here? I know you have a coaching program that you're ultimately selling, right?
That's right.
And what is the thing that you're offering for free?
We have a free guide, just a teaser. It's called 4 Things You Can Do Right Now to Start Living Beautifully.
Okay.
And it's just simple things, 4 simple strategies. But when you knit them together in a nice little PDF guide, it's attractive. It's got nice little tips and tools, little sidebar. Hey, did you know that? Meditation being one of them. Click on our Spotify link for a nice playlist. And then the call to action on the very last page of the guide is you like a little bit of what you see here, you'll be interested in our signature program. Blah, blah,
Got you. Okay. And so you're giving away a PDF. So the best way to deliver a PDF is via email. And in the client funnel challenge, what you're setting up, of course, you need the email campaign, right? That's one of the first things that you want to create, because that is, sort of the cornerstone of how you make the strategy work. So what's going to happen is people are going to opt in, or they're going to see on your website that you've got a free thing available, right? And they'll click to learn more about it. That's your landing page, right? The landing page is going to tell them all the things that they are missing out on that they could get in the guide, right? Now they opt in, they put their name and email on that page. Now we do have two ways to create this in our site. One of them is called landing pages, but it's literally like our landing pages are just a form and maybe a picture on a page, right? But you also could just make a page that does this as well, or build, this function into an existing page on your site, but which is anyway. So they're going to opt in on a page. They're going to give their name and email. Now in the client funnel challenge, I actually teach my authority page strategy, which
and we have done that too.
Okay. So basically that authority page is going to say, check your email, your freebie is waiting for you, right?
Right. Uh-huh.
So if you've got the freebie in the email, then you're good to go. And you just want to be in that email sequence, pointing them back to just that URL for the freebie itself. It doesn't have to be on a page anymore because it is its own thing. And then pointing them back to that authority page where you've got that video and that call to action to apply for a book a call with you or watch the webinar or whatever that next step is in your funnel.
Yeah, so what we have, so I create a landing page independent of when I started going through the funnel. So what we have right now, I'm just going to open up and have a look at mine. So I know what I'm talking about. Let's see. So I have created the bundle with the lead magnet page, and I put in a video of to explain the free guide. So it's a short little video of about 45 seconds. And then I have to still finish the lead magnet page, but it's got the book a call. But what I want to turn that into is download your free guide. When they get the free guide, we get their email, we get them into the funnel with their email. I have a booking page as well. Using Calendly, I set that all up too. And then another page that we have is the authority page. And we did a draft video just so we have an idea of what it looks like. It's not the page, just so that we have an idea of how the video would play in. And that's where we explain our story a little bit more and then have book a consultation as the call to action on the authority page. So maybe, I don't know if I have too many steps or just a bit disjointed.
Got you. Yeah. So, okay.
Oh, so, there you have it out. Perfect.
Yeah. So which of these two is which? So, so they have similar names.
Yeah. And I have to change the names. So, so the one at the bottom, the very bottom lead magnet page, that is the one that I just figured out this morning. Yeah, that video there is the one that's, and I have to work in Vimeo to get the right thumbnail, but 4 things you can do right now that will change your life. Okay. And then it's a catchy little video. And then click here down load your guide. And that's where I don't even know where to get our guide, where we put
Got you. Okay. So, so first things first, in this section here, I would give a call to action above the video. So, watch the video below. It's a great deal of padding here. I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
Tell you what, here's what I would do. I'm gonna
create it. A click embed. Because when I took the link from Vimeo, it wasn't working. So I used the embed code instead and went into that.
Got you. Okay. So I'm just going to grab that right here. So I just created a new section here just to make this a little easier. Okay. And then let's see, we're going to video here. and then click here to download your free guide. Okay, so here I'm going to embed the video. Okay, so this is happening. This is a Vimeo thing.
Oh,
Yeah, I think this is a Vimeo thing. It's not an our page thing. Let me see height with.
so 6, yeah, it actually comes out at 640 and 568, but I just changed the dimensions to make it a little bit bigger, but maybe
Got
it's
you. That's I think that's what that is. So
okay.
here, let me
Okay.
try this one more time. Okay, so player Vimeo. This. Let me see if we can actually just use this URL and play it here.
And we're still on the free Vimeo for now. We haven't
Okay.
subscribed yet. So we're just using the freebie stuff. Because again, I'm just putting everything into place just to see how it looks first.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. Okay, so here we're going to make this a header. So, and we're going to tell them what to do, right? So watch the video below now to get started. And then there we go. And then click here to download your free guide. Okay, so to get the guide on the page, we first need to upload your PDF file into your system. Have you done that yet?
Okay, I can do that right now.
Okay, perfect. So what you're going to do is, and actually don't do it yet because this isn't saved yet and you're not going to see this in your system. But here's what you're going to do when you're ready to do this. There is this in this menu bar up top here, there is this little plus with the dots. It says more rich. You're going to click that and it's going to open this menu here where their upload file is an option. You're going to click and you're going to actually figure out whatever it is that you're going to, it's going to be from your device.
Yeah.
And then once that's here, it's actually going to populate like right here on the screen, right? But what you're going to want to do is actually delete that. And then you'll be able to go over here to insert and manage files. And then you can actually copy the link and then hyperlink that click here text with the link to the PDF. And that's how you'd get that done. So here, let me delete this older section here and save that. So you'll be able to modify this now.
Okay. So then do we still want to book your call now, call to action on the same page as a free guide?
Yeah, absolutely. It depends. Okay, not necessarily. How are you going to be converting people into this coaching offer? Is it going to be with calls or are you using a webinar? Like what is the conversion point for you in the funnel?
We're contemplating the benefit, pros and cons of each. With calls, of course, we can bring them through that, asking them those questions about where you are right now, where do you want to be? And, it's more personal one-on-one. The webinar too is very, like, we scripted it out and it works out to about 15 minutes of explanation. Okay. And I used your 4-point formula, pain points, goals, so where they want to be with those 4 points, okay, where I can forget. And then their objections. We sort of addressed the objections as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Perfect. So what I would do in this case, because this is your first sort of coaching offer on the internet, I would do calls first, but maybe, do calls first for the first 90 days that you're promoting this or something like that, until you feel like you're really confident in identifying where the gaps might be, if there are any, making sure that this is actually converting the right kind of lead and that they aren't coming with more objections than they ought to. Maybe there are ways that you can build that stuff into the funnel, that addresses those things in the campaigns and things like that. I would not go the direction of selling with a webinar until you've had enough conversations to really deeply understand the language of the person that you want to be selling to. It just makes you scalable in a smarter way sooner. So I would keep this as a book your call or a apply for a call is maybe an even more effective way to do this. So this would be apply for a call. And when they do that, they could actually, and this is actually new since we created the client funnel challenge. I'm going to be doing a refresh of that here in the next few months. But one of the things that you can do is under settings, when if we have this button or the other buttons on this page actually pointing to hashtag lead.
Oh, right. Okay.
It'll
Yeah.
pop up a form, right? So what we can do here is we could go hashtag lead on all of these buttons. Oops, wrong field. It needs to be in the URL field. Here we go.
Oh,
Lead, and this is apply for a call. And then of
yeah.
course you want to tell them, and I think you've already done that here, all the reasons why they ought to do that. And I'm just going to change this to let's talk and put lead here. And then what you want to do is under settings, under leads, tell them what to do here. So fill out the form below to apply for your one-on-one call and add the other information here so we can blah, 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 right? Because you want to remind them why they want to do this. We're about to ask them to do work. So tell them what they get from it. And then what's going to pop up is a form field where you can actually ask those questions that you want to ask of them ahead of time. So kind of like the form that you filled out before getting onto the call that you're on here today, we asked questions about like, what things you have in place, what it is that you're working on, what your goals are, that kind of thing. Ask those questions here and require answers for them. You may or may not want to require a phone. If we're just internet, I usually don't bother with the phone because we'll meet via Zoom anyway. So you can do short text, long text, you can do lists, multiple choice. And you could also choose to attach this stuff, to their contact card as well. But when they fill out a form like this, all of those answers are going to populate in your system. So when you do get on that call with them, you can actually see what all of their answers are, and you can have a better opportunity to close them on that call. Mm-hmm. So basically what you would do from there is, because at this point in your funnel, they've already received the marketing campaign. But now they need to receive, a link to book with you. So what I would do is attach a campaign here that just sends them a, hey, thank you so much, for your interest in a call. Here's the link to book our call together, and have that in the campaign message that sends out. Have a tag here. In this case, this would be applied for strategy call, right? And then we would send them. The next page that we would send them to here would be a confirmation page. I would recommend, well, actually, no, they're already in your funnel. So I would send them to the booking page here.
Okay. And we created that. Yeah, that's right. Perfect.
Yeah. So send them to the call booking page. I would add a quick acknowledgement here. And then you may also, just for your internal purposes, if obviously until you get a lot of or a lot of application volume coming through, this won't be necessary. But an idea for the future, when you get a lot of these coming through, potentially like when you start running ads and things like that, you can use an automation to apply a follow-up plan that triggers a reminder in the system for you to make sure, or an assistant or somebody on your team to make sure that lead that applied for a call has in fact booked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then in the bundle, I'm really confused about the bundles. What goes in the bundle now?
Oh, you don't need to do anything with the bundles. So the bundles are what you claim from us to get a page like this.
Oh, I see. I get the idea now.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you wanted to, like in the future with your coaching program, if you wanted to certify other coaches in your methods, right, and give them a funnel like this one and resources like yours, you'd create a resource bundle and give it to them, and they would use it in their own AttractWell account. That's what those are for.
Whoa, how did you know that we wanted to do that?
Ambition is a real thing. I see it.
So that, because we have also our authority page as well. And again, it was just a test run, and that's called Lead Magnet. I have to change.
Got you. Okay. So that's this guy.
And that's the authority page. Again, the buffer is probably really big around that video because I did the same thing. I used the embed code instead of.
Got you. All right. So this would be
authority page. Yeah.
Why is this in all caps?
That makes sense.
Yeah, you're going to name it this.
Okay.
But then the title bar text, this is what's going to show up here, like where this says edit page and this says lead magnet. We definitely don't want this to say lead magnet, right? We
Okay.
want it to say something else. So in this case, we want this page to say, you're in, now watch this
Oh,
video, right?
okay.
And then we want to say, what is it that you're offering again?
It's a wellness program for,
Oh, no. I mean the freebie, sorry.
well, the freebie is 4 things you can do right now to start living beautifully. Yeah, 4 things. I think I'm using that consistently.
Okay, so 4 things start here. I'm just going to do
Perfect.
that.
Nice.
So that one, we'll save that. And then I want to
Yeah, I gotta make that.
shrink this all down just a bit.
Okay.
Just because we want the video to be as front and center as possible. And actually, in fact, we can forego this entirely if
Okay.
you have a logo on your site.
Okay. Yeah, we did
which-
upload that logo.
Perfect. Yeah. So your logo is going to show on the site anyway.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. So what we need to do is here, did you include the authority page bundle here? Let me see the authority page.
No, I better put that in the bundle, I think.
No, well, no, you don't need to. It doesn't look like you claimed the authority page is my point.
Oh, okay. How do you?
Yeah. So you're going to want to go into the client funnel challenge and claim the authority page so that you can make those modifications there, because there's a lot more on that page. Matter of fact, here, let's just go ahead and go over there right now, and I'll make sure that you have it, and we can just build it from there.
Claiming it means you guys get to see it, kind of thing.
No, claiming it means you have it in your account now. So yeah, just like you can actually see what you've claimed here. You have claimed the call booking page and the lead magnet delivery page already.
Yeah.
But you do need to claim your authority page, which you have not yet done.
Okay.
And otherwise we would see it in this list, right? So I'm going to come down here and use this link and claim the bundle.
I think
and
that's
now,
yeah.
Now we can actually,
yeah.
Here we go. So this is where you want to put your video. And I'm just going to delete this entirely.
So the one that I created on the page I have.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I created something already and it's there. I can see it when I go to pages, but I guess they called it lead magnet.
Well, so this is different, right? So the one that they're similar, actually. The bottom of it, these bottom sections, because the whole point of this funnel is to get someone onto a call with you, the most ready to get on a call with you.
Yes. Yeah.
And so, yeah, the bottom of the lead magnet page, and actually real quick, see this, you do want to make sure, I would reclaim this from Vimeo, the actual link, and make sure that you have the privacy set up correctly. But what I would do here is to go back over to this lead magnet delivery page that we created. And then what we would do is just copy the stuff that you have down here.
Yeah, which is, we still have to work on the text, but yeah. Okay.
And then paste it into here, because we're making the same call to action, right?
That's
so
right.
This is where people go. So they opt in to get the free thing, and you're telling them in the video, right? We tell them here on the page and in the video, hey, you just opted in for a thing. Good job. It's on its way to you right now. But real quick, like while you're here, watch this video. And then you talk about it in the video, and then the video's call to action is click the button below to get on a call, because you're here, you've got that thing because there's a bigger thing that you're looking for. And there's a lot that you can do, and you don't have to do it on your own. Why don't we set up a plan together? Let's get on a call, right? That's the whole point here. And then, maybe they don't book their call. And if they don't book their call, that's okay. When they check their email and they click that link, it's going to have this stuff down at the bottom too. It's just going to have a different video, I guess, because you explain your lead magnet in the video. And then you have the actual link to the lead magnet. So the lead magnet delivery page looks a lot like the authority page. You're just, the top part of it's delivering something different.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So then,
because what we're wanting to do is, like, all roads lead to that one-on-one call with you is sort of the point of that funnel.
That's exactly it. Okay. So yeah, and we haven't really set up a home page or the website or anything like that yet.
That's okay. Once you have the homepage of your funnel, so your landing page created, you could make that the homepage of your site for now until you have a
Oh,
new
okay.
one that you've created. You can make any page the homepage of your site. So what I would do is get the funnel done and then have your homepage, just be your landing page for your funnel. And that way you can just start marketing. You don't have to wait until everything is done to actually start getting good use out of it.
Okay. All right. And I guess,
Fabulous.
yeah,
Hmm.
okay. We'll speak with you later about, or support call for setting up the URL and an email address using the AttractWell, because we're
Oh
looking at
yeah.
data
Yeah,
AttractWell.
just shoot a message over to support@attractwell.com, and the team has everything that you need to help you walk through getting that done.
Okay, perfect. That's awesome.
All right, excited to see what you guys come up with. We'll talk soon.
Yeah,
Thanks so much.
Thanks,
Of course.
Ashley. Okay.
Bye.
Oh, sorry. All right, so so thrilled that you guys were able to join us here today. Thank you guys for coming out and sharing your work. I hope that you all start segmenting your list today and start building beautiful things, just like you saw from Zoya Veda. And we'll see you next time next week. Have a great week, everybody. Bye.